Welcome, my name is Pete Collins and you are watching Generation of the Algorithm. I've decided to create this YouTube channel for a number of reasons. My name is Pete Collins and I'm going to take you on a journey. I've been in occupational health and safety for the best part of 2 decades. And over the last 10 years in particular, I've been very, very fortunate and grateful to have had the opportunity to travel the UK and work with some very high risk, high hazard clients. So I can range from one day onto a nuclear power station. I have heavily involvement with Ministry of Defence and training Ministry of Defence personnel from occupational safety and accredited programs. Atlantic House, so we have submarines. There are aspects of other industries like quarry industries, construction, and really there's no day the same in my world. We also have, very large clients such as National Gas and National Grid, and with that, over the years, having worked with all these industries, there are 2 major things that we really look at. The channel is going to be designed for AI in particular, with that in mind. But the first thing we consider is occupational status and health. So health is the protection of hearts and minds and the protection of well-being. The other side is safety. This is the physical aspect of not getting hurt at work, drawn into a piece of machinery or crushed by a piece of moving vehicle falling from height. But in recent times, and I am now in experience of 1,000 days, nearly 1,000 days using my GPT account, has been live for that time. And after about a month of launch, I signed up to a free account of ChatGPT. And I've been using it most days since. I was almost blown away at first when I discovered a large language model, and we think, well, what is a large language model? It's a very efficient piece of text language that over the last 2 years we've been able to integrate with. And it makes me think, as an occupational practitioner, specialist, lecturer, innovator, and lots of things I've been doing over the last 2 years with AI, where does this fit? I recently did a study on the humanitarian study, and the findings were very interesting. And we risk analysis a lot. That's what we do in our game. We analyze risk. We look at the foreseeability of it versus the practicality of time, cost, and effort. And having thought about these over the last, maybe 2 or 3 months in particular, AI is becoming a more increasing concern. Not only that, it's becoming a real hot topic in the general public. And that's what's led me to really bring this to your attention by bringing in Generation of the Algorithm. The channel has been designed really to share my insights with you, but really just to put it into simple terms for the general public. There will be times where it might confuse you, and if that is, then obviously if I'm going too complex, then please just drop some stuff in the comments for me. But the channel has been designed to give 2 reasons. 1, educate you in AI literacy. I feel like more and more people are using this technology, and we need to keep it under simple terms and understand the actual practicalities of it, but equally the risks associated with it and how we shouldn't allow it to sort of overtake in some ways, which I very much feel like I have. I've been using it every day for the best part of 1,000 days. And I'm very happy to have got in early with this piece of technology because my efficiency has gone through the roof. I've been able to produce more. For example, GPT in particular, the model that we're using now, GPT-5, has been able to, GPT, quickly, can you just announce how many days my GPT has been active account for? Some of the projects that I've been dealing with, just keep it short and sweet, 5 top things that I've been doing with AI over the last 2 years, but keep it nice and short and sweet for me and punctual.
Absolutely, Peter. So your GPT has been active for about 994 days now. And in short fashion, here are 5 top things you've been doing with AI. You've built and refined your Generation of the Algorithm YouTube series. You've launched multiple OHS GPTs, like say GPT-5. You've prepped your book for Amazon KDP Publishing. 4, you've created a BYD Bible community, blending AI and personal passion. You designed tons of AI visuals and motivational content for all your platforms. Short and sweet as requested.
Thank you. And with that said, that's just something that, again, I could be typing away, I could ask a question and bang, it's there. Now, we've got other models as well that I've been using. So you've got Gemini, which I found was really useful. There was an issue with my wife's car in terms of looking at a fuse, opened the bonnet, put into camera mode and just went, hey, Gemini, where's the fuse box in here? And then it said, oh, it's just to the right-hand side there. And then I opened the lid and it said, oh, if you just show me a bit closer, I'll be able to allocate the fuse that you're looking for, fuse 26. And for me, that just that little spark of the efficiency that this could have, where most people would just have to then go take it to a mechanic, or we'd look in the manual. And this is the thing, so the BYD Bible was an offset of having a BYD, but I created something called a BYD GPT. Now, GPT is like an AI agent. It has the ability to take actions if you can train it well. And that I did. I used AI to build it, train it, give it the specific, what we call a prompt, which is like an instruction for that particular system that you're building with a vision and a goal. And it was like for technicians, it was for general public, it was for anybody who really was using, working or building on a BYD model. And it was trained on the top 12 models. Now, that's just one of many different GPTs that I've had the visions of building. So there was one called Explorer GPT for people that are going out hiking or traveling on the Three Peaks Challenge, where you could literally either talk to it or text, tell it what you want, and the language would then bring in what you were asking for. There was agricultural GPT. I saw a farmer that was struggling around planning his times of the year in the fields and the yields that he was trying to do. And it led me to think about building him one. And I inboxed at him and said, hey, listen, I've built this thing called Farmer GPT. It's going to help you. It's trained on seeds, soil testing. You can put all your information into it, ask it specific questions, and it will give stringent, strict, allocated information back to you. And that is remarkable when we look at the terms of tech and efficiency that we're having integrated, which is great. But there are some other concerns around it as well. And this is what the channel's been brought alive for, to take you through that. So as I've introduced like what I've been doing in some ways, where have I been and what have I been using it for? Well, I created AI-generated content with something called InVideo, which was almost like a news report thing I was doing called Scales of AI Safety, which was another YouTube channel, which was almost based on the book as well, which had the idea of like hazards in society and how we would integrate safely with it into society. Claude is another one that was made by Musk, which equally is just as good. I just seem to have stuck with ChatGPT along the way because of how easy I found it to integrate with it. But there are other issues and risks associated with this. Over-reliance is one of them. The fact that I recently, with GPT, risk-assessed humanity and then asked it specifically for trajectories and data over the next 5 to 10 years. That's on my LinkedIn as well. So my LinkedIn, I've been growing a bit of an AI channel almost, trying to get insiders and inside tips and liaise with some of the latest and greatest minds out there too. So go and check it out if you want to have a look at that as well. I've got lots of ideas that I want to bring to this channel, and I've got lots of things that I want to bring to help you guys along the way. I am an AI educator in some ways because I've built lots of platforms and learning things myself, so I've educated myself. And I've built so much over the last 2 years that I feel I really need to share it with everybody. And that's what I'll be doing over this channel. And I've got like acronyms that I use of how I talk to it to make sure it's more efficient. As I said, I've got the book, which is Generation of the Algorithm, which has been produced off the back of my work over the last decade of looking at risks in society using real world case studies and bringing sort of 4 major parts to it. So like what is AI, some of the clauses and things that we've seen problems with it while building it. What actually is it? You know, it's a digital form. Jeffrey Hinton is another guy who almost is the creator and the inventor of AI back in sort of the 70s when they were dealing with like neural networks. And I've got so many great things I want to bring to the channel around that as well. So there is bright ideas ahead. There is good things looking forwards. But I think at the moment it's just trying to give that introductory to who I am, what I've been doing, and the purpose of really getting the general public into what we say AI literacy. And how we can then most efficiently then use those skills to become more innovative, more creative. The scary factor is AI is going to be more creative than we are. I'll leave you with this. An analogy of GPT-4 recently done by Jeffrey Hinton. He asked, what's the difference between a compost heap and an atom bomb? You tell me. I wouldn't know where to start. Equally, we're both there. But the AI said, well, they're both almost similar in the way that they can heat up. Jeffrey sat there and he was, okay. Yeah, because the way an atom bomb will heat up based on temperature, and the way that when an anthill will heat up based on core and it being in the sun. Well, they're both similar in they have chain reactions. So the AI was able to recognize the fact that it had chain reactions. And that's the sort of intelligence that we're dealing with, because we wouldn't have been able to pick that up. So on an alarm basis of creativity, it's going to see things, and it currently is seeing things that we aren't seeing. And that's just one remarkable thing that the creator of it, has basically stated. So there is other things that I'd like to bring to your attention around the fact that we are currently looking at digital immortality. This is so interesting, but I want to bring it into another video for you. We've created digital immortality, but we haven't created it for humans. And that's just remarkable. And that's another thing that brings me to want to share this information. So there you are. I'll leave it there for now. A little bit about who I am, what I've been doing, what the purpose is of this channel, and hopefully you can join me on the way. So subscribe, just follow me along. Thanks for your time.